Hey everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and I'm very conflicted about this level. On one hand, I'm very proud of the concept behind this course and the thought and effort that went into each individual challenge. I love the dichotomy between bright and cheerful grass hills mixed with the undead despair of a ghost tomb, the Barrows being an idea that was inspired by the Lord of the Rings books. It is very unfortunate, however, that I based an entire level around an assumption of how a specific gizmo worked, and since the level testing aspect of uploading courses to the net did not reveal this fault, I was unaware of just how bad it ended up being. What could have been a strong recommendation from me is now just a caution to let you know what you're getting into. Not necessarily a bad level, but one you may not be expecting. So enjoy this interesting video. So these sunny green hills was mainly meant to be the hub of the entire level, almost like resting place of refuge in between the hard challenges in the Barrows. So you were to come here for relief and respite as you go from pipe to pipe, from challenge to challenge. Now, each of these challenges is unique, and I came up with 4 different, I guess you could say, tricky trials that it took me quite a lot of time. This, I think, level took me maybe 3 days to complete, and I made sure that each challenge was just difficult enough, but also doable enough to proceed. And the result of each one was a key. And like Bert the Bashful inspiration for Old Boo's Haunt, my previous level in this theme, I wanted to have another hub and spoke sort of level, but this time more of the hub, because with Old Boo's Haunt, it was kind of like a straight shot from one section to the other, opening up things as you went. Here, this was a true go collect keys and then go to the end of the level. And that was, I think, the second pink coin, but the first one shown in the video. And I put plenty of power-ups in between pipes here, just so you never had a lack of power-ups. So you always had the opportunity to get stronger or get an extra hit, because these challenges can be tough. And speaking of which, in my opinion, this one, the second one, is the toughest of the bunch. And I always wanted to try to see if I could utilize these clown cars in a way that was integral to the entire level concept. And I actually think I succeeded in that front. And this took a while to get that pink coin. Now you have to be careful here with these thwomps. There are spikes on the bottom, and if your clown car hits one of those spikes, it will wildly careen out of control, making it very hard to get back under control and could get yourself hit or killed. And it's best to jump off at this point. See, there it goes. So yeah, that was the hardest challenge in my book. If you can beat that, you can pretty much beat the rest of the level. So let me explain the mistake I did. The mistake here was putting checkpoints in areas where it didn't make sense in the grand scheme of things if you knew how things work. So let me explain that. Checkpoints, all that they do is they save your current location in the level, and they also save your current pink coins that you've collected. That's it. I was under the assumption that it also saved the amount of keys that were following you or trailing you like they are here. So if you hit the checkpoint with just 2 keys behind you, or maybe 3 keys, when you died and respawned, you had 2 or 3 keys still following behind you. That was incorrect. In fact, what happens is you lose all your keys, but you start off at the last checkpoint you reached, which in this case does not help you one darn bit, which means you have to get all 4 keys all over again in 1 life. Which means, with the checkpoints placed the way they are, you must beat the entire level in 1 go. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what checkpoints you use. And that's a huge oversight on my part, and testing the level to make sure it was completable did not reveal this fault. Because when I started off at other checkpoints, I just thought it didn't give me the keys needed because it was just starting me off, bare bones. I didn't know that you literally did not have keys when you started off at a checkpoint. I just thought it was a part of the testing process. Honestly, it's an oversight, and I think it's something that they should fix in an update for this game. It should save the amount of keys that are trailing behind you. So that's why this level has gotten somewhat of a bad rep in terms of plays and likes and things like that. There's really not a lot of plays and not a lot of likes for this, and it's because of the whole checkpoint issue. So this final challenge, since I forgot to completely talk about the third challenge, was more of a maze. And this maze was a lot bigger and more grand than it is now, but then I found out I ran up against the 4,000 limit of wall blocks, ground-based blocks I could use in a level. And so I had a couple extra sections left to go after this, and I had to trim this area down completely. Otherwise, the final portion of the level could not be made because I would have run out of wall blocks that I could create walls, ground, and things like that. So, not a very difficult maze puzzle, and that's only because it was limited by the engine itself. So, in retrospect, I should have put a blockade of 2 key doors between each section of 2 challenges and have a checkpoint after each one. So if I had to redo this level, that's probably what I would do. Because as it stands, this second checkpoint, after all 4 of these keys, is probably the one that's worth the most. Because then you don't have to do the 4 keys again, but by then, you're pretty much at the end of the level. There's really no point for the checkpoint unless you really die against the mini-boss. And this also comes up on another limitation of the engine. You only have the 4 doors to choose from for each area, sub-area and main area. So 8 doors total per level, but 4 per area. Which means I had used up my 4 for the entire level here. So when I go back, after this last pink coin, I have no more doors to work with to make a locked door, so you have to beat Boom Boom here. Nope, you can just skip right on past it, because I ran out. I run up on the limitations of the engine. That was it. And there is the weird level complete. Clown Car Barrows. Could have been a lot better, but yeah, it's an interesting experiment at this point. So we covered most of the secrets already regarding the pink coins, but there's a few left here. Like there is a invisible block that is really hard to get to if you don't know where it is. And you can get your first pink coin right here in the level straight at the start. Not so much a big secret, but in case you wanted an additional power-up before proceeding forward with the first challenge, you can actually come up here and get a extra mushroom or fireflower if you're already big. And this is actually in the maze section. If you wanted to head backwards into where the first arrow was, you come across a new area of the maze. And unfortunately, the only prize here is just a 10 coin item, and that's pretty much it. But hey, it's there for you to catch if you want it. Now if you have one last key from all the 6 pink coins, you can open up this secret area, which pretty much makes the boss fight with Boom Boom even more laughably easier than it already is. You can just skip right on through and kill everything and possibly get a 1-up in the process. And one last secret right at the end. If you weren't sure why the second mushroom was there, you will in a moment. You wait patiently, and a red paratrooper will come in from above, and you can get this 50-piece coin. So yeah, if you know what you're getting into, and you know that there's going to be no checkpoints for this level, I think you'll like it. Give it a shot.